So y'all know it's been a lot going on with the Breakfast Club with Jess Hilarious as well as
Yeah.
Lauren Larosa. They had their whole spiel. Then we learned that Lauren Larosa ends up getting her own podcast. So shout out to her. It's powered by Black Effect, which is Charlemagne. So congrats to her. But Angela Yee actually came out and had something to say about the situation. So
Mm.
let's check out what Angela had to say to the people.
I would say this. When I initially left, they did say they were going to hire 2 people. So that was always the plan. So I'm going to be honest, I don't know what's communicated to anybody. I know Jess was out on maternity leave, and I know that's tough too, coming back. I know she's expressed, having a baby, postpartum, all of those things take a toll. And Loren works really hard. And Jess does too, like she's on the road. And I think part of why they hired her was because of that. Like she does comedy shows, she goes on the road. That adds a lot to the show.
Has a strong following.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of times it is social media that tends to get people riled up. It's outside forces. It's not what's in the room, and that's what makes tension sometimes build. I would say this. When I initially left, they did say they were killed. But what is good is when you can have a blow up and then work through it. And so we just have to see it publicly play out. But I think it looks like they're really working through it. And I feel like this can be an advantage because a lot of people can relate to blow-ups in the workplace, and then how do you move forward from that? Because sometimes the resentment can just build and build and build, and then everything falls apart. But if you can catch it early on, that's a good way to make sure, let's squash this. But what is good...
Okay, Miss Angela. I like the way that she answered that question and handled that. So it just confirms to me that iHeart didn't necessarily handle Jess appropriately by not telling her the entire scope at all, because even Angela, which is crazy, even Angela knew that they were supposed to be having 4 people total. That was always the goal. But Jess never knew that. So it makes sense when she returns and she feels like somebody is impeding on her space because they didn't communicate. And it definitely falls back on them.
And I didn't like they were trying to make it seem as like, okay, so let's be fucking for real. Jess is not a journalist, right? You can't read properly. You don't have reading comprehension skill. You're a smart girl, but you're smart in the space that you're smart in. However, the way they were handling it seemed like a situation. Even I ain't gonna lie, y'all, and I said this in my live, even though I respect Loren, I still didn't even like the way Loren was handling that situation. Because stop acting like you don't know what the fuck it feel like to expect to have a certain position and then find out that something different is happening. When she said, as my talent, okay, so if she is your talent as her producer, you had a conversation with her that was clarifying your position and what was happening. But it was almost as if you didn't want to have that conversation. So let's rely on everybody else to have that conversation with Jess. And then when there's an issue, everybody wants to act like she's unprofessional. But she, to me, clearly trying to have these conversations behind closed doors and was not getting the answers until she brought it to everybody else. And what this generation has learned is social media will help you get accountability, because secrecy allows to mistreat you, pay you under what you should be getting paid and all of that type of shit. So I was never really mad at Jess for coming out and speaking on camera about her experience, because I felt we all saw what was happening. And if I was in Jess's position, I would have felt the way. Like, I'm sorry, I would have felt the way. Communicate with me clearly about what's happening so we can then work together. But don't tell me that somebody is supposed to leave when I come back, and then when I get here, they still here, and everybody acting like it's because I'm not doing a good job. That would have made me feel away too. So I'm not gonna act like Jess is wrong. Sometimes I think the way we think corporate America should work is the right way, but it's really not.
It's likely designed to work exactly how it is working. It was something I wanted to say. Oh, I was going to say, I think that Angela Yee probably left because of some of this. Just a bit of the unprofessionalism. Because remember how Jess came on? That was even questionable. Didn't they announce it, but then said that that's not true or something like that?
I think temporary.
Right. When she signed her contract, they were trying to act like she had not signed on at first until they did this big announcement.
Yeah, it's like always been something with them, and with that being said, it makes me question when it comes to Loren. Although she is one of the producers, could she have I don't know if somebody could have also told her, "Don't we're gonna talk to Jess about that. You ain't gotta talk to her about that. We'll let her know when she get back that it's gonna be a 4-person. We'll talk to her. Don't worry about that. You just worry about this."
Yeah,
that's possible.
I get that.
And if that's the case, then it was unprofessional production, management, HR's part for both of them.
Yeah, that's what I say.
But that's why I said that it still falls on Loren because you were a producer. If she was just another talent, then it wouldn't have fell on. You are a producer. You do
That's
know.
a good point.
Disagree. This is where I would
disagree. If she's more talent, like she said.
This is where I disagree because I think it's levels to the producer. So I don't know if she was at that place where she have that conversation. Now I think she is, being that she is now a senior news producer, but at the time she was just a news producer. Okay. So somebody else that could have been in that position, likely. That's why I was like, they could have told her like, hey, like, nah, like we got that. Don't worry about it. We'll handle it. Yeah, don't worry about Jess. We got it. We'll talk to her.
But she said she was her talent. That's what I'm hanging on to. When she said my talent.
She's like, now she is. She's the senior news producer. You are my talent.
I thought that meant period. I thought when they brought on, she was already producing in the background. But I want to respond to this in the comments. Keisha L, producer does not mean in charge. That is not what I am insinuating. That's not what I'm insinuating. I worked in the news business for 8 years. What I mean when I say you are a producer, you are running a show, meaning you are in the meetings with the executive producer and the director. So you're in the meetings to find out what's going on. So if you really wanted to have a respectable rapport with your talent, you would let them know what was going on, even if it wasn't official. That's what I mean. Because when I worked in that, we know how that shit motherfuckers, they don't tell people what they need to know. It is advantageous to tell people what they need to know. So to me, a game was being played with Jess.
Definitely
she didn't give facts on what was going on. But please don't misunderstand. I am very well aware that producers are not in charge, but in working in the news business, they're not in charge, but they are over whatever show they're doing. They're whatever topics you're discussing, they're writing scripts, and they are in direct contact with your executive producer in a way that talent sometimes is not, especially if you're not Charlemagne or Envy. If you're the new talent, you usually don't have any type of sway on your executive producer. So as a producer, Loren should have went to Jess and been like, listen, this is what I think is going on. We should just work like this. And maybe Jess would have been receptive because Jess was in feelings. I'm open to that as well. But we can't play it like Jess didn't. I mean, like Loren didn't show up with a new wig and red lipstick and shit when all of this came out. Like, come on, man. Before that, you was in your regular hair and regular clothes like it was 3 o'clock in the morning when you got up. Just like Jess was when you decided to come with your jacket off your shoulders and shit. I know my internet is stupid. I hope y'all still understand what I'm saying.
Yeah. I just keep laughing because every time we say the names, Angelique, I'm thinking about the Webby video. Angelique, Charlotte McGay, and DJ Envy, Charlotte McGee, and Angela Ye. Y'all know what video I'm talking about?
I don't.
You don't know what video I'm talking about where he said, God damn, y'all got some names on y'all.
Oh, that was Webby.
Yes.
That was Webby's ears.
Oh my God.
Also, I want to say this. I'm talking specifically about this situation, y'all. I'm not defending Jess Hilarious and everything she does, y'all. I'm just specifically talking about this situation where I feel like corporate is taking advantage of this mess. And it makes y'all feel like Jess is so wrong for her response when really behind the scenes, people take advantage of the fact that you don't have any voice for real because you're a new hire. That's all I'm saying.
Right. Exactly.
All right, y'all. Hold on 1 second. I am about to switch up to something else. Okay. I think this is where we at.
Charlotte McGay. Yay. DJ.
Is this it? Okay, I think this is it. All right, babe.
I want DJ Envy to stop coloring his beard. You look crazy.
Oh, he's been coloring the beard?
Yes.
Thanks.
And you know, he's so light. And I was like, why are you? Also, I'm mad at him for acting like he don't care about how the public feel about him. Nigga, you done crashed out on a Breakfast Club many a time.
Especially on Tyrese, didn't he?
Yes. And the two dudes that talk shit about his wife. The ones that used to work with Joe Budden. Remember that?
Yeah.
Mile and
Rory.
Yes. He went in on them. Nigga, you cheated on your wife. What you mad at us for?
That's crazy.
I ain't like none of that bitch ass shit they was doing. Plus, Charlamagne with all of that trying to make a joke out of the situation when you know I believe Jess when she said your messy ass told her to lean into the mess. I believe her.